There's something special about Opera House, a level that sits quietly in the middle of Tomb Raider 2, yet leaves an impression far stronger than some of the game's grander set pieces. It's not a level of exotic ruins or ancient temples. There's no lost city of gold, no mythical monsters waiting behind a giant stone door. Instead, we get a derelict building in the heart of Venice, an opera house, long abandoned, left to rot in the shadow of a criminal syndicate. And yet somehow, it feels haunted. Opera House is one of those levels that divides the Tomb Raider community. Some players see it as a structural mess, sprawling, confusing, and punishingly vertical. Others view it as one of Tomb Raider 2's best levels, a perfect storm of mystery, tension, and environmental storytelling. This video will take a closer look at why Opera House remains so memorable, breaking down what makes it so distinctive within the game's progression, from its cinematic entrance to its haunting theatre halls, and even the collapsing rooftop platforms that test your precision and patience. We'll explore not just the layout and gameplay, but the tone, the strange mix of loneliness and anticipation that makes you wonder what kind of story this ruined theatre is silently telling. Because Opera House isn't just another level, it's a moment where Tomb Raider 2 slows down, turns inward, and shows how powerful atmosphere can be, even in a space without a single relic or tomb in sight. The Opera House doesn't open with fanfare or spectacle. There's no grand reveal, no cinematic establishing shot. Instead, Lara begins outside, on the rooftops, looking down upon a silent building swallowed by time. It's a low-key introduction, yet it perfectly sets the mood, a quiet descent into decay. Immediately, you sense isolation. There are no gondolas here, no sunlight reflecting off the water, like in the Venice levels before it. The colour palette turns darker, murky greys, deep browns, and that unsettling green tint that defined the late 90s 3D environments. You can almost smell the dampness in the air. The opening section is eerie, but you are not alone, as Bartoli's goons even patrol these areas. You must first explore and find a key, ascending onto the upper levels of the theatre building. There are some tricky jumps here, and you must be careful not to fall, or you'll be a long way down, plummeting into the darkness. As you do unlock the door onto the upper levels, you then see it. Your first major challenge of Opera House, the collapsing platforms. This section is a one-of-a-kind throughout the entire game. It's a moment that, in my opinion, perfectly captures Tomb Raider 2's identity. Patience versus panic. You step onto one of the platforms and suddenly it shudders beneath you. There is no way to get back, you must only go forward, being quick and with accuracy, jumping from platform to platform, making sure you are quick enough so that you do not fall and plunge to your death. This section is truly scary and difficult. It takes multiple attempts, at least in my case, to be able to get across here successfully. As you step onto the first platform, the adrenaline surges and you must be quick. The fall is a long way down, and it really does set the panic into your system. This sequence sets the precedent for the rest of the Opera House level. It represents a shift in the tone. This level was going to be difficult and extremely challenging from here on out. You're not raiding tombs anymore, you're navigating the remnants of human ambition, a man-made ruin still dangerous long after it has been forgotten. After you cross the platform section, you were then attacked by a gang of Bartoli's goons and his dogs. You realise you were progressing through the level the right way, and the exterior section also does something clever with pacing here. It teases the player with glimpses of the Opera House interior through the metal gates that you will later be unlocking. You see the stage below, but you can't reach it yet. It builds anticipation, a slow burn that makes your eventual entrance feel earned. By the time you find the right route in, you realise everything up until now has just been a test, and that the real level is about to begin. The building itself becomes a puzzle, and you realise that it's one that you're going to have to decipher carefully, much like the platform sequence before it. Stepping into the Opera House almost feels like trespassing. One wrong step and objects will fall from the ceiling, or boulders will seemingly roll out of doors. After the high up and sharp verticality of the rooftops, the sudden stillness inside is almost unsettling. You're met with wide echoing spaces, the kind that feel heavy with silence, where every gunshot or footstep seems to linger just a second too long. This isn't the bright red carpeted glamour of a working theatre. It's a carcass. Dust and debris fill the once elegant hallways. The architecture hints at former beauty, ornate balconies and a grand stage. But it's all decaying, the echo of culture left behind. You can feel the abandonment. The stage that once held performers now hides armed guards. The whole room is partly flooded, and holes in the stage walls indicate that it has been unkept for a long time. Gameplay wise, this section blends platforming with careful and intricate exploration. Traps lurk around every corner, and you must explore to find all the hidden nooks and crannies. The fan room is especially difficult, and this may take a player multiple times to complete. Here, one wrong step or jump, and Lara is dead. In total, you will find yourself doing lots of backtracking, looking for the circuit to be able to activate the elevator, or a key that is required to open a door to progress through the level. The area is vast and does require patience, and the exploration needs to be methodical. You will encounter enemies on the way, but never too many. This, I think, was done deliberately. The emptiness makes each room feels like it hides something, and the lack of constant combat gives you time to breathe, absorb, and explore every area. It's easy to lose your bearings, a criticism often levelled against this level, but that confusion also reinforces the tone. You're not meant to master this space immediately. You're meant to feel lost inside it, like a ghost wandering through someone else's forgotten masterpiece. The Opera House interior might not be the most intuitive layout in the series, but it's one of the most environmentally aware. It captures something rare for a mid-90s game, a sense of quiet narrative told purely through architecture. Every hallway and broken balcony whispers a different story of glamour, neglect, and time's slow decay. For many players, Opera House represents a turning point, the moment Tomb Raider 2 truly commits to its complex, interconnected design philosophy. Gone are the straightforward canal routes of Venice. Here, the game lets loose with one of their most ambitious layouts, a vast, multi-layered structure that blurs the line between puzzle platforms and mazes. To me, this level draws similarities also to St. Francis' Folly. It's not an easy level, in fact it can be exhausting. Corridors loop back on themselves, switches open doors on the opposite end of the map, and verticality rules everything. You're constantly climbing, descending, retracing steps, often unsure whether you're progressing or circling. Much like the whole of Tomb Raider, and maybe to more of an extent on this level, the Opera House does not guide you. It doesn't hold your hand. It dares you to pay attention and to remember what you've seen, where you've been, and what's changed. In that sense, it's one of the purest examples of Tomb Raider's environmental storytelling through gameplay. Every small discovery feels earned, because it's not given freely or easy. But this same ambition is what divides opinion. Some call it masterful, a non-linear labyrinth that rewards exploration. Others find it tedious, its design bordering on cruel. And, in my opinion, both of these are right. The Opera House demands patience and spatial awareness. It's easy to get lost, to wander in circles, to miss a switch or circuit that's half hidden in shadow. Then there's the danger itself. Unlike the later water levels where the threat is obvious, here it feels more organic and hidden. Platforms collapse without warning, things fall from the ceiling, and boulders are almost everywhere inside the Opera House. The collapsing beams when you're scaling the rooftops remain one of the most memorable and frustrating moments in the entire game. You have seconds to react, there's no safety net or autosave to catch you, just pure instinct. Yet, beneath the challenge lies something elegant, a chance to slow down and soak up the environment in its totality, to explore every corner and nook and cranny, and to train you for the later levels to come, that anything could be hidden in the shadows past. There's no music for long stretches on this level, the occasional sound of gunfiring and combat, and when the combat does happen, it's sharp and brief, often startling. It keeps you uneasy and never fully comfortable. And when you do finally unlock the right pathways and manage to get onto the roof areas, or backstage behind the curtains, the Opera House becomes readable. Its chaos is resolved, and you've tamed the space and turned confusion into clarity. As divisive as it is, Opera House represents Tomb Raider at its most confident. It doesn't try to please everyone. It's complex, atmospheric, and unapologetically demanding. The kind of level that frustrates on a first playthrough and then fascinates on the second. When you finally leave the Opera House, there is a strange emptiness that follows. You step onto the aeroplane, but the silence of that building lingers. It's one of those levels that doesn't end cleanly. It's abrupt and immediate. However, it stays with you in fragments of memory. The echo of your footsteps on the wooden beams and platforms, and the shuddering of the collapsible areas, the dim glow of a spotlight over an empty stage. For all of its frustration, Opera House, in my opinion, embodies what made Tomb Raider 2 so enduring. Its refusal to simplify, its confidence in mystery. It's a level that asks you to engage on its terms, not on yours. You can't rush it, nor can you brute force it. You have to learn it, piece by piece, until the building reveals itself. And in my opinion, that's what makes this level so memorable. It's not just about the gameplay here, it's about tone. About how space can invoke emotion without a single line of dialogue. The Opera House feels haunted by absence and isolation, with the contrast that the building has now been hijacked by a cult. By being such a polarising level in the Tomb Raider community, in that sense, I think it succeeds completely. It is messy, yes, confusing, absolutely, but it's also bold. It's a snapshot of an era when game worlds didn't explain themselves, when players were expected to explore, fail, and to find meaning in the process. Revisiting it today, Opera House feels like a quiet tribute to the atmosphere-driven storytelling that defined early Tomb Raider. It reminds us that sometimes mystery is more powerful than clarity, and that even in an abandoned building, rendered in blocky polygons, can feel strangely alive. It's not a crowd pleaser, it's not easy, but one thing it is unforgettable. And maybe, just maybe, that's the point. Thank you so much for watching my video on a level review of Tomb Raider 2's Opera House. Please leave a comment down below whether you like this level or dislike this level. Like the video, subscribe, and also hype it up. To my members, as always, thank you for your continued support. And to all of you, thank you for watching.